Good afternoon. This is Bronson's By Any Means Necessary Fantasy Football Talk for Wednesday, October 27th. Completely off topic here, but I think my mail is starting to come a lot earlier in the day. I think my mail already came today, which is unfortunate because I needed to drop a bill in the mail today that I was hoping to get there by Friday. Now I have to hope it gets there by Saturday, and if not, it'll be late because there's no mail deliveries on Sunday, and Monday will be November. So hopefully I just forgot to check it yesterday, and the mail that I saw in there is yesterday's mail, not today's mail. I guess we'll find out here in a couple hours. So it used to come between 4 and 5, so it doesn't make any sense why it would be here already when it's 1 o'clock, 1:30. Yesterday I did watch Halloween Kills yesterday. You know what? I was actually rather impressed. Pretty brutal movie. I liked it. I was digging it. And the ending, didn't like the ending, but it's one of the better horror movies that I've seen in a while because I'm not a big horror fan. I think that the movies are just terrible, cheesy, bad acting, people being completely illogical, irrational, and stupid. I just can't get into it. But Halloween Kills was a good one. I recommend it if you're looking for a good Halloween flick because man, there were some brutal kills. So yeah, but let's get to it. This is the defense special teams special for week 8. We are going. That's the wrong page. Defense special teams top 10 defenses for the week. Rams number 1 at Houston. Texans do have Tyrod Taylor back, but I don't really think that's going to make that big of a difference. Bills versus the Dolphins. Dolphins offense, for whatever reason, is terrible. The Bills defense is good, so that's it's in Buffalo as well, where it could potentially be snowing. And the Dolphins, we know, can't run the ball for shit, so if you have the Bills defense, you want snow. Bengals defense at the Jets. Zach Wilson most likely going to be out, but whether it's Zach Wilson or Mike White, it's going to be a bad quarterback back there throwing passes. 49ers defense at the Bears. We all know, we've been following this all season. We know the Bears offense is very pathetic. I have unfortunately had to move on from Allen Robinson. I was so high on Allen Robinson coming into the season, into the draft process, and I no longer have any shares of Allen Robinson after this morning. I've officially moved on completely. I hate to say it because I think him and Mooney, both talented wide receivers, they just have, I don't know if it's the offense. It's obviously a lot to do with the offense because Mitchell Trubisky had the same problems. But Justin Fields has looked bad. And I was not high on Justin Fields. I did not think Justin Fields was going to be good. I'm glad my Vikings did not trade up to get him. I would not have been happy with that outcome. I'm happy that we got Kellen Mond in the 3rd round. I think Kellen Mond is just as good, or if not even potentially a better quarterback than Justin Fields, and we got him in the 3rd round as opposed to the 1st round. So happy with that outcome. Well, we'll see if Kellen Mond can eventually develop. But yes, 49ers defense coming off a bye, getting the extra week to prepare against the bad Bears offense. Probably going to be a good day for 49ers. Buccaneers defense at Saints. Now I'm gonna talk more about this later, but the Buccaneers usually gonna be a top 10 defense every week, whether it's a good offense or not, because the Buccaneers defense is so stacked, so good. But they did give up their first 100-yard rusher last week to little-known Khalil Herbert. So that streak is over for the Buccaneers. Steelers coming off a bye against the Browns defense with Case Keenum as a quarterback. Now the Browns offense is very run heavy, so the potential for a really good day for the Steelers probably is low, just because I think the Browns, Kevin Stefanski does a good job of keeping, he is pretty conservative offensively, but I think he's an excellent play caller. I think he knows how to call the right plays in the right moment, unlike his mentor Mike Zimmer. So Stefanski, I think it's going to be a low-scoring game, most likely. That should be decent for the Steelers' day, but I don't think there's going to be a lot of turnovers there, even with Case Keenum throwing the ball. Browns defense against the Steelers. We've seen there's no Juju anymore, which could be minimally impactful because they do still have Chase Claypool and Deontay Johnson, who are pretty much better wide receivers than Juju at this point anyways. But Ben Roethlisberger is looking really old and really rusty. The Browns defense is good. That could be a good day for the Browns. The Cardinals defense now against the Packers tomorrow night. Now with the Packers having their top 3 wide receivers potentially out for this game, who the hell is Aaron Rodgers going to throw the ball to? Robert Tonyan? I mean, which, by the way, he did throw the ball to Tonyan a little bit last week, didn't he? And so, but Tonyan can get the ball. Who else? Randall Cobb? Like, there's not a lot of, there's no scary options in that passing game for the Packers tomorrow night and on a short week. And with the Cardinals being so good all of a sudden, I really like the Cardinals as a top 5 defense this week. Eagles defense against the Lions. I mean, what else is there to say about the Lions? They're really bad. So the Eagles defense, even though it's not great, should be a top 10 play. And the Panthers defense against the Falcons. Again, Falcons are not good. Panthers defense is pretty good. It hasn't looked as good in the last few weeks as it did early on in the year, but it's still a top 10 defense for me. So, again, against the Falcons and old Matt Ryan, could be a top 10 week. Now, a couple of defenses outside the top 10 that I think could also be really good plays, could potentially be top 10. I think this is a deep week for defenses. Broncos defense against the Washington football team. The Washington football team is not nearly as good as we thought they were coming in, especially that defense. We thought that defense was going to be top 5. Laughable. It's like the worst defense in the NFL. For whatever reason, all those first round picks that they've stacked on that defensive line, and they're still terrible. And Taylor Heineke, although he has looked pretty good, he can only do so much. Terry McLaurin can only do so much. Antonio Gibson's not healthy. That's really hurting the offense, I think. I think it's just going to be a lost year for the Washington football team. Broncos defense looking pretty good so far. They could have a good day. And I know people are going to probably rake me over the coals for this, but I like the Saints defense against Tampa Bay. You know why I like the Saints defense against Tampa Bay? Look at last year. The 2 times in the regular season that Tampa played New Orleans smoked them both times, in Tampa Bay and in New Orleans. That was the negative points game for Tom Brady, and that made me so frustrated and so irate and made me immediately drop him or trade him in every league that had him. And I know Tom Brady is like obviously the GOAT. Tom Brady's a demigod, whatever you want to say. He's 44 years old, looking amazing still. He looks like he could play till he's 75 if he wanted to, which I really hope he doesn't. I really hope it just goes away. He needs to share some of the glory with the next generation. But his legacy is secure. He has nothing else to play for really, other than his own narcissism. But given what we saw the Saints defense do to Tom Brady twice last year, I'm not saying I'm going to play the Saints defense. That seems risky to me. But especially with, Gronkowski could potentially be back for this game. Antonio Brown could potentially be back for this game. Still, the Saints defense is pretty good this year. And again, what they did to Tom Brady in both matchups last year in the regular season makes you think that the Saints have figured something out about Tom Brady, and they're going to unleash it again this week. Would I play them? Probably not. But I, again, will not be surprised if the Saints go out and completely annihilate Tampa Bay again, just like they did last year. So, you're walking the tightrope there with the defense, with the Saints defense this week, but high risk, high reward there. If you are in a 12-team or deeper league and you don't have much else, maybe roll with the Saints. And if it pays off, then you should probably go buy yourself a Powerball ticket or a Mega Millions ticket, or take yourself to Vegas for the weekend and gamble some money because you're on a winning streak. So that's it. That's my defense special teams. I'll get to tight ends and quarterbacks potentially later today. But I think I kind of want to do it tomorrow because I kind of have something special in mind for it. And I I may just do tight ends, quarterbacks today, and do wide receivers, running backs tomorrow, and do my my something special for that. But we'll see. I'm feeling good. I had a 4-hour nap this last slept my whole morning away after work, so I could be up late, and then just do it all over again tomorrow because I got to go to work at 4 a.m. But yeah, all right. Thanks. Peace, love, and nacho fries.